Hello, 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 and welcome back to the Long Walk Podcast with your girl Haas, where we talk about wellness, creativity, and other musings from an elder millennial. Your girl is older, wiser, stronger, and I know you are too. So, that phrase, do or do not, there is no try, from our dear friend Yoda. I have carried that phrase along with me for as long as I could remember. And I liked Star Wars, but I was never a big Star Wars fan. Happy to watch it when it's on, happy to go to a movie with some friends, but never, ever a big deal. That's funny because that phrase, man, that phrase has traveled many moons with me. I was always a firm believer that if you say you're going to do it, you do it. You get it done. That's the story. There is no other option. Otherwise, you wouldn't say you could get it done, you know? So hearing that phrase, I was completely affirmed by it. Yes, I think this way. I don't try, I do. And now there's a quote from Yoda. I don't know why it makes a difference, but it's just anything that will co-sign your own stuff, you will take. Or at least that's been my experience. Then came The Secret and Notes from the Universe, which I still like to an extent. And I still like The Secret to an extent. There's some points to be made. I just think, there's more meat there. And if you stop at The Secret or if you stop at Notes from the Universe, then you're going to set yourself up for a lot of disappointment. But that's neither here nor there. I remember hearing that phrase again, though, with the whole, laws of attraction boom that was happening kind of in the early aughts. You have to attract it. You have to attract it. And if you say you're going to do it, you're going to do it. And you don't try, because trying, and I believe I got this from Notes of the Universe, but I could be wrong, so don't quote me. But trying is failing with honor. So you have to do it or you don't do it. And when I tell you that I believe this within the core of my being, who I did. And it worked with my nature. I'm an incredibly ambitious person since my childhood, and I always wanted to win. I always wanted to win. I always wanted to come out on top. I was never really willing to take a shortcut. I would never cheat. I would used to say this, and judge me if you will. Time makes you grow up. I used to say, no, I'll never cheat, because when I crush you, I want you to know it was me and no one else. Yeah. If that gives you a sense of how ambitious and competitive I used to be, I was no joke. I remember saying that I was the kind of person that if there was a race, I was definitely gonna finish it. Let's not even question it. I don't necessarily have to win, but we're finishing it. If I have to bite my own limbs off and slither to the finish line, Haas was gonna win, and Haas was gonna finish. So, life takes over. You grow, you change. Things happen to you, things happen around you. Life's. And there came a point where I couldn't do any of the things I wanted to do. Side note, there's some kids playing outside and they're very noisy, and I'm very okay with it because I love to see kids with joy. So I hope you will make peace with that as well. I love seeing kids just having fun and They look like they're having a blast. So I hope you don't mind the noise. But yeah, I was just always very, very competitive. And I think it served me well for a long time. I think it made me very confident. It made me look for the next exciting thing to do, have goals, have dreams, despite any fear or any doubt. But life's like I was saying. And there came a point where, I couldn't do all the things that I wanted to do. We've touched on that in previous episodes. And I think I know it was crushing. Oh, it crushed me because there was so much left that I wanted to do, and suddenly I couldn't do those things. And I didn't know who I was anymore. And the things I would do when I felt frustrated, I couldn't do those either, you know? Um, I just didn't have the stamina, the strength, the focus. I didn't have any of those things. And it was really, really hard. But what I will say is that I was dealing with so much that I couldn't focus on what I couldn't do as much as I would if I had felt better. I thought I was focusing on it. I thought that I could not feel any worse about it than I did while I couldn't do those things. But lo and behold, again, life's. And I started to get better. And that should be exciting, right? I am excited. I am feeling great. And then a massive wave of grief begins to come over me. I'm doing so much better, but I'm not doing better enough to do the things I wanted to do the things I want to do. And I don't know what to do with that because now I'm living in limbo. I'm better than I was, but I'm nowhere near what I used to be, and absolutely nowhere near where I wanted to be. And I didn't even know it was grief. Grief wears many, many masks. And I just never felt okay in my spirit. And with the help of therapists and coaches, I started to dig deeper and realize I was really grieving over what I thought my life would look like, over the things I'd wanted in the past, over the things I thought I wanted or were unsure of whether I wanted. That's a really, I guess that's another topic, that limbo of desire. You don't even know what you want or don't want, and you think you don't want something, but you do want something, all that stuff. Lots of confusion. And I had to start to face it. And so I had to start to face it and I had to start to get honest. And I didn't want to be honest because what am I going to say? There's all these things I want that I can't. I don't have the actual ability to do. I mean, physical, mental ability, emotional ability to do. And I I'm lost. For the first time in my life, I'm really, really, really lost. And I had been lost at other times in terms of needing direction for what I wanted. This time I was lost because there was no direction to get. I didn't know where I wanted to be, you know. And for a time I thought, oh, I don't want to do the things I want to do anymore. I used to want to do, but I also don't know what I want to do next. And I believe that. And that to an extent was true. But the bones of what I wanted, they were still there. What I really wanted to do was still there. Maybe not in the same expression that I had in the past, but they were still there. Now, what do I do? Because I'm like an entirely different person than who I used to be. And so I start and I stop. 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 And for someone who prides herself on getting the job done, starting and stopping has created a new pain for me, a new emotional wound for me, because not completing something has all this baggage attached to it. I'm lazy, I'm a procrastinator, I don't get things done. I'm not trustworthy anymore. I'm not dependable anymore. And then there's worthiness tied to that. And oh, I was sad, y'all. I was really sad because I put out so much worthiness into my ability to complete something, to make something happen. I'm the girl, I'm the woman, I'm the person who makes things happen. I'm the magician, and I can't do it for myself. And I wanted to stop trying, and I did for a while. I did for so long that I thought I physically could not. One of my wants was to sing again. And the way that my voice sounded, I was certain that I had some type of vocal injury. And I wouldn't go get it checked out because I had already gone through so many other health issues and physical ailments. And I just couldn't deal with finding out that there was another thing wrong, and it was the thing I loved the most. And so I didn't. Just kind of let it be. I didn't really sing. I didn't really talk much either. I was very much, if I was not required to speak, you would not hear from me. And I started to feel better with all the other things that I wasn't feeling well with. And finally on a consistent basis. Finally enough where I was like, I kind of want to sing something. So I'd sing a little bit, it would sound terrible, and then I'd stop. Then I'd sing a little bit again, it would sound terrible, then I'd stop. And I'd stop for really long periods of time. And one day I said, I think it's time to go get my voice checked. And I'm just going to have to make peace with whatever they tell me. And I went, I got a checkup, and there was nothing wrong with these cords. The only thing wrong with them was that they were not being used. And so they were tired. And I could just practice using my voice more, or I could go to vocal therapy if I wanted to expedite the process. But there was nothing physically wrong with my voice or my chords. I was in absolute disbelief because I had believed it so strongly, and because it made sense with everything that was going wrong with me, and it legitimized my reasons for starting and stopping, starting and stopping, starting and stopping. But life's, and I was wrong. And so I started some voice lessons. I went and started voice lessons, and I was incredibly honest. I'm not going to be great at this. I don't sound good. I'm probably not going to practice as much as I should or as much as I would want to, because I'm just learning to even speak on a regular basis. And thankfully, I have someone who is kind and caring. And I try. I sing a little bit. Sometimes it's okay. Sometimes it's terrible. And sometimes it's pretty good. And I stop. Then I have another voice lesson and I practice. And then I stop. And on it goes. But one thing that has happened is I'm saying stop right now. And I'm learning that I'm not really stopping. I'm taking a pause. And that pause is okay. I had a lot of life. And for now, I need pauses. And maybe one day I won't. But I keep trying. I keep going back. And I try again. And so, this from the person who has to complete the thing, or she doesn't feel proud of herself. She doesn't feel strong. Trying is fucking great. And trying exists. And you're not a failure for trying and trying again. Your trying is a reminder for you about who you want to be and what you want to do. And your trying is shaping that life for you the way you want to see it. Because I could have just completely stopped. Something keeps having me try again. That desire, even if it's just a little glimmer, it keeps saying, hey, hum this, sing this, move this, dance this, do a little something, write this. And that's all you need. Because maybe one day that try will become a do. A do that actually aligns with the life that you have now. Not who you wanted to be before. Not who you thought you were going to be. But who you are now and who you are becoming. So try, y'all. Please try. Please ignore the people who were like me and said, trying is just failing with honor. We were wrong. Yoda was wrong. Yoda was wrong. And we were wrong. We thought we knew, but we didn't know. Because again, life's. And if you really, really didn't want to do it, you wouldn't. And you wouldn't keep scratching the surface again and again. So please try. Please try until the day that you wake up and you realize, I don't want this. Please try until the day you wake up and you say, I want it more than anything in the world. Please continue to try. You owe it to yourself. Nobody knows what they're doing or what they're supposed to be doing. We're all just living and trying to make it work. And we can plan, but again, life's. So you try And you don't let anyone take that shit away from you. Make your beautiful world through trying. I encourage you, I empower you, I send massive love your way so that you continue. I believe in you. I believe in me. And you're going to get the life that is truly most aligned for you, that is in your highest, most divine, most beautiful, most wondrous vision. So, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I want to know what you're trying to do, or what you've been trying to do, or what you hope to try to do. So, reach out to me. You can always find me on Instagram at Hasina Flower, Twitter and YouTube at Hasina Music, and Facebook at Hasina. Thank you for listening to The Long Walk. I so much appreciate it. I look forward to continuing this walk with you. See you soon. One love. Peace.